Want you to keep this important safety message in mind. Before you start digging, planting, or landscaping on your property, call 811 to have underground utilities marked. Calling 811 at least 3 business days before you plan to dig will help you know what's below and can prevent a hazardous situation. Our representatives will mark the underground utilities on your property for free. So remember, stay safe and call before you dig.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
For over 4 decades, one name has stood out as a symbol of excellence in automotive sales and service.
It's the Boucher Automotive Group, dedicated to providing exceptional experiences to all of our valued customers.
We will help you find the perfect vehicle within your budget while respecting your time.
With 20 convenient locations, we're the one-stop destination for all your automotive needs.
At Boucher, we're your trusted partner on every mile of your journey.
Riding with you every mile since 1977.
As you're cheering on your favorite team, leave your home comfort to Carrier. Whether it's keeping your current heating and cooling system running smoothly or upgrading to a new one, your local Carrier dealer has got you covered. Plus, now is the perfect time to step up your comfort game with a Carrier home comfort system. Receive tax credits of up to $2,600 when you choose a qualifying Carrier heating and cooling system. Turn to the experts at Carrier and ask about tax credits, local rebates, and financing available for qualified buyers. Carrier, proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Find your local dealer at carriermilwaukee.com.
Get out of here and go! Covering the Crew all season long on WTMJ, it's Brewers Extra Innings. Now live from American Family Field, here's your host, Dominic Cotroneo.
Well, what's there to say? 10-0. Oh, that one stung. There's another one tomorrow. If you don't like optimism, if you don't like a cheery attitude, if you don't like positivity in your life, I might be the wrong show for you. Am I saying plan the parade? Goodness no. That was tough. We're going to be real. We're going to have a group therapy session. Tough way to lose the opener of the I-94 rivalry. The Brewers have not scored in 19 consecutive innings. They had a position player pitch for the second consecutive game. They are under 500 again at 16-17. There is a lot to be down in the dumps about. There's a lot to be negative about. We will address some of those negative things, but also look on the other side of that coin. What needs to happen to have a positive weekend? Because as frustrating as today was, they could have lost 100-0. They could still win the series the next 2 games. So we will reserve grander judgment, and that judgment will come if this happens again tomorrow or Sunday. But there will be grander judgment about the status of this rivalry, these teams, and what the outlook is when the series is concluded. But at the same time, we can break down what went wrong in these last 48 hours for the Milwaukee Brewers. I'm Dominic Cotroneo. Jerry Augustine is with us, too, former Brewers pitcher. And ordinarily, Jerry, I spend the first segment letting you sit on deck, get ready to go, as I go through a highlight recap of talking about everything that happened in the game, win or lose, right? Well, when it's a 10-0 game like this, and the Brewers had 5 hits, and there wasn't really a highlight from the Brewers side of things, here's the highlights for the Cubs. They hit a grand slam from Michael Busch. PCA hit 2 home runs, 10-0. There you go. There's your highlight recap. The Cubs win 10-0. And now you wear it on the chin here, Jerry, because you got the short end of the stick today to talk about this one with us. But whew, we've all seen some clunkers like this, and all there's left to do is really just tidy your hands and move on, right?
Yeah, exactly right. There's just 3 words come to mind. Turn the page. That's all you can do in today's ball game is one of those unusual ball games. Really, the first inning started off giving up the 2 runs. Those happened. They weren't out of it. But you look at they had 4 singles in the first inning, were able to score. But the second inning, 5 straight guys reached the base. Then he had the Busch grand slam, and the Crow Armstrong was off to a great start. Swinging a bat, they were up 9-0 before we knew it. So it was just one of those days where things did not go right for the Brewers, and everything that the Cubs hit, they found holes, and those things do happen, and you're going to have them. But it's the one thing, it's the first game of a 3-game series. You can battle back, and that's what we have to hope for tomorrow.
When you look at the pitching decision, we'll break that down. I have an opener with Tyler Alexander and Quinn Priester to follow, and then the bullpen arms that followed that. Pat Murphy has his hands tied. He continues to refer to the fact of all the injuries that this team has as the reason why these clunkers tend to happen. But at the same time, I think the fans understand, well, there is an opportunity to create something out of nothing, right? Tobias Myers took his opportunity and ran with it last year. Logan Henderson was dominant in his one start with the A's. He hasn't had another opportunity yet. Maybe his comes. Maybe we see the big league debut of Jacob Mizorowski at some point this year. Chad Patrick has been taking his opportunity and running with it. And it's unfortunate that Quinn Priester, all 7 runs in that second inning charge to him, has not taken his opportunity yet. He still could. Maybe this becomes a great story of the second half with a little more Brewers seasoning on him. But these last 3 starts have been clunkers and kind of look more like the Quinn Priester that maybe some fans feared was arriving with the Pittsburgh Pirates version of Quinn Priester, and not the added muscle, added velocity, positive outlook Boston Red Sox Quinn Priester that maybe some folks were excited about.
Yeah, when he first came over, first few outings that he went out there, very aggressive with his fastball. Being able to command the strike zone and throwing the ball very well. But it just looks like lately, the last couple outings, it looks like he's having a little bit of an issue maybe with his delivery. He's rushing a little bit, hasn't been able to command the strike zone. And I would say the last couple outings, it really has been a process of command. And, Dom, sometimes it happens when you get traded or you move from one team to another. You get out there, things start out pretty good. But still, you got to settle in. You got to be able to go out, and you got to be able to make adjustments. And I think that's one thing we're seeing out of Priester. He's got a great arm. He's got a good fastball. He's got a good breaking ball. All the qualities to be a great pitcher. It's just that sometimes you get in that rut, start out good, and then all of a sudden you start overthrowing, change your delivery, and you fall in the rut. And I just think the last couple outings that he's thrown the baseball, he's been in that little bit of rut. But I think he's going to have a great future. He's got a good arm. He understands. He's going to make some adjustments. Giving him time to work with Hookie out in the bullpen and do some work, I think will really pay off for Priester as we go along.
I think the big thing, too, is the lack of a strikeout pitch right now. And he showed it off once the game was already in hand, unfortunately, which makes you think, it's in there somewhere. Can you tune into that earlier in the contest? But you look at the first batter he faces, right? Nico Horner gives up the base hit the other way on an 0-2 pitch. Dansby Swanson in the second. That was a 2-2 pitch to lead off that inning. Fell behind 3-0, and the 9-hitter Nicky Lopez ultimately walks him on a full count pitch. 4-pitch walk to Ian Happ. A 2-strike RBI bloop single by Seiya Suzuki. An 0-2 grand slam by Michael Bush. A 1-2 home run by Pete Crow Armstrong. You get what I'm saying here. It was a snowball, but the lack of a true swing and miss strikeout pitch, whether it was called, whether it was executed, is, I think, the big thing that Priester is lacking from that big second inning.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. When you talk about a strikeout pitch, is the pitch in there? Does he have that pitch? I think, yes, he does. I think when you look at the quality of pitches he has, when he can locate the ball very well. But I think when you talk about a pitcher who's coming over and making some changes, making some adjustments with his delivery, it's about that ability to expand the strike zone. Swing and miss pitches come because you can expand the strike zone, then make that good quality pitch, and you get a swing and miss, or you get a weak fly ball, or you get a weak ground ball. And it just seems like the last couple outings, he hasn't been able to get in a situation. He hasn't gotten those counts, you might say, that he can expand the strike zone. And the hitters have been a little bit patient, but he made some mistakes. Looks like he's having a little bit of problem combining that breaking ball on both sides of the plate tonight. He was deep in the counts. You throw 101 pitches in 4 1/3 innings. That means that what you're doing, you're going into deep counts with a lot of your hitters. And I think that was a big factor tonight.
I agree. We'll break down some of the decisions in today's game with the opener and why the Cubs were so successful today. 855-616-1620, 855-616-1620 on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
The I-94 rivalry is more than just bragging rights. Get to the ballpark for Brewers-Cubs action May 2nd through the 4th and spend Friday and Saturday night under the lights and help the Crew defend American Family Field and the National League Central Crown.
That's your ball game!
Then pack the park for Sunday matinee baseball at the May 4th series finale and take advantage of the Sunday Fun Day bundle. Get your tickets now at Brewers.com.
You gotta get to Built Right today. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here. Built Right's Buy Local, Love Your Home mattress sale ends Saturday. Their one location saves you time and money, and they make it easy to shop, easy to buy. Built Right beats any big box, national or local chain store, department store, online retailer, warehouse club, or employee-free store because they have the guaranteed lowest prices. Built Right also has the best value, selection, and experience team in Wisconsin. Over 60 models all on display to try out. 500 mattresses in stock. Choose from the best mattress brands made in the USA. Heirloom, Gold Bond, Therapeutic, Restonic, and Schiffman. Built Right specializes in hard-to-find, flippable, two-sided, and heavy-duty mattresses. Free delivery and removal on mattress-only purchases of $7.99 or more. Built Right saves you money. Voted best place to shop. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday. Closed to be with family. Tell them Vinny sent you to Built Right, 54th and Layton Avenue in Greenfield.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Steve Scavidi with a special announcement. My dream of visiting my 50th state, Hawaii, is going to come true in November of 2026. And I'm inviting all you WTMJ fans to join me. Fox World Travel has created an incredible 3-island itinerary, which includes Oahu, the big islands of Hawaii and Maui. We'll visit Pearl Harbor, Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, and a Kona coffee plantation. And you know how much I love coffee. We'll enjoy a luau on the big island, visit the Maui Aquatic Center. It's an active itinerary, but includes plenty of free time, too. My wife, Kathy, and I would love to have you join us on this WTMJ listener trip. By the way, P.S., I'm planning a unique way to commemorate this accomplishment. More details on that soon. To get more information or make a reservation, join me and my wife, Kathy. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO. Don't miss out on the early booking discount. Best of Hawaii. Join us with Steve Scavidi, Kathy Scavidi, Rose Gray. Call today.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Brewers Extra Innings is brought to you by Fifth Third Bank. Looking for a banking partner that truly understands your business needs? Look no further than Fifth Third Bank. With a local team right here in Milwaukee, they know how to hit it out of the park every time. For 15 years, they've been serving our community with industry-specific expertise and local decision-making that helps your business thrive. Experience the unique commercial banking value only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, member FDIC. 855-616-1620 is the phone number, 855-616-1620 with Jerry Augustine. I'm Dom Cotroneo. This text from Josh in Greenfield. What a dreadful game. It feels like a familiar refrain for Brewers pitching too many walks, 3-ball counts, and letting batters off the hook after getting ahead. What buttons need to be pressed to turn this around other than throwing more strikes? One thing that I would look at, Augie, we just talked about the two-strike approach and what needs to be done in that regard, but at the same time, all of this for the Brewers, it comes from a lack of just little margins. And the Brewers a season ago were winning on the margins. And this isn't just a single person, right? There were a couple calls that maybe William doesn't get a strike call on, and he frames a couple that he gets a strike call on. Like, that's a margin. Or not having a ball just go beyond your reach on a blooper into shallow right field when Terrain nearly made that play that would have saved a run off the board. That's a margin. Or not being able to get the ball to your left on the left side of the infield. That's a margin. Like, those little margins add up on top of not having effective, two-strike swing and miss pitches. I think the grander way I'm trying to put this point, Augie, is that if a team is going to purposely acquire players and look to acquire pieces that don't mind putting the ball in play, don't mind not getting strikeouts, those margins, they get easier to lose the more the ball is in play. And I think, for a guy like Quinn Priester, who's normally a ground ball guy, the Cubs had a good game plan. They weren't hitting ground balls against him, and that's where one of those margins was lost today for the Brewers.
Well, you brought up a great point there. And, when you get to, you're talking about Quinn Priester tonight in those margins, going deep in the counts, what do? You allow the hitter to see more pitches, to have more of an idea of how you're going to compete against that hitter. And I think that had a lot to do with him. That's where you get the blue singles, or you get the balls that just go over the infield's head, or you get the ones that just between the third and short, or first and second. Those are the things that happen, those margins you talk about. And that a lot comes with how you pitch it and how you go about in pitching a game. And I think Priester, when you talk about the 101 pitches in that time, he was behind a lot. He went deep in the counts, and the Cubs were able to put the bat in the ball. And I tell you what, look at what they did in the first 2 innings. 7 of the hits that they had in the first 2 innings were singles. So you see they're just putting the ball in play and good things are happening. And you look on the Brewers side of it, I'll tell you what, Brown, you look at he's 3-2 with a 4.8 ERA. But tonight, what was he? Efficient, throwing the ball for strikes. He threw his backdoor slider for strike. He had that good fastball and that tail on the outside part of the plate. He threw 74 pitches in 6 innings. Very efficient. And here's a guy who from time to time has struggled. And I think when you see pitchers who struggle, they go deep in the counts. They can't expand the strike zone, and they get themselves in trouble. And I think that's a little bit what we saw at Priester tonight. But I was so impressed with the way Myers came back and threw the ball tonight. I thought he threw the ball just extremely well. It was a little bit of what we didn't see the other night. And Grant Anderson has just been fantastic coming out of the bullpen.
Yeah, those two guys are maybe the only positive spots for the Brewers pitching staff today. I mean, we do have to talk about the offense, though. And, going 19 straight innings without a run being scored, they win the 2 games on the south side and then get shut out yesterday. Like, all right, team on the end of a 10-game road trip. Like, thought it was going to rain, it didn't, whatever. Whatever excuse you want to make, you can make. And people can choose to buy or not the excuse. Excuses are just that. They're just excuses. Today, a series that's been circled for a lot of people to come out and get blanked by a guy that you've seen who blanked you last year almost exactly a year ago is frustrating. And yet, the Brewers, I see an offense that is looking for a spark. It's looking for a guy to say, get on my back. I'm going 5 for 5 tonight. Even if that guy is not going 5 for 5, right? Churio's in a slump right now. Terang's battling illness. Yelly hasn't got going. Contreras isn't hitting for power. Reese is drawing walks, but he's not hitting for power either. That guy, and I'm going to go ahead and say his name for the first time on a postgame show, is Willy Adames. They're missing a spark. They're missing a dude. It is going to have to be somebody in this clubhouse to say, give me the bat, let's go, get on my back, and let's do it. Because in a way, not everybody can do that, right? You can't look to, with respect, Caleb Durbin. Like, Caleb Durbin's not going to be the guy that gets up and says, let's do this, I got this, guys. It's just a confidence thing, a contagious thing. It's hitting is contagious in both directions. It's a cliche, but it's the truth. And I know you've seen it, Augie, where a team that, like the Cubs right now, this is far from the only team the Cubs have blown out this season. And what are they doing? Their hitting is contagious. They're getting homers. Michael Busch, his first career Grand Slam, PCA, a multi-homer game. Happ and Tucker just continue to get the job done. The Brewers, the contagious is the other side. Not a lot of hard contact. Oh, my gosh, I hit another ball hard, and it was right at a guy. Oh, man, they made another great diving catch on me. That stuff adds up and snowballs, but the sooner you can end it and somebody can step up and say, I got this, let's calm things down, I think it's going to be huge.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think when you look at this ball club, the Cubs, and just sit talking about them for a bit, we all know about what Happ can do. We all know what Tucker, good offensive players. Suzuki's having a great start. And Busch is one of those guys hitting 280. Horner's hitting the ball, hitting 290. But I'll tell you, one guy that's really stepped up for them is Carson Kelly. He's swinging the bat extremely well and doing it. You need that one guy that gives you that impetus to get you going on. But I think the last 2 days, Dom, with this Brewer ball club, they were a lot of first pitch strikes. And it wasn't fastball for strikes. Their pitches against them were throwing breaking ball for strikes, cutters off the outside corner, sinkers away on them, and other pitchers were getting ahead. When you can pitch ahead and be effective, it's going to give any offense a little bit of a trouble. And I think the last 2 days, that's something that the Brewers have seen. Today with Braun, I thought he was excellent getting first pitch strikes. Yesterday, it seemed like all game long, every pitch, every first pitch was a breaking ball for a strike, fastball in or fastball down for a strike. You get these pitchers on a major league level that can get the first pitch strike, pitch ahead in the count, expand the strike zone. They're going to give every offense a little bit of a trouble. I think that's something the Brewers have faced the last few days. It'll be interesting to see how they approach tomorrow, how they go about their jobs, and seeing what happens.
Yeah, I think all of that makes sense. But at the same time, Augie, you know what would be the funniest thing that could happen is that the Brewers turn around and win the next 2 games like 1-0, 2-0, right? Wouldn't that be the most satisfying, funny way to win a series? Like, you get outscored overall in the series, 10-3, but you win the series. I think that would be the most Brewers thing ever, right?
I'm all for it, Dom. I tell you what, and you just brought up a point that when I was looking at the matchups for the series, and I see Quintana pitching on Saturday and Freddie on Sunday. I go, okay, first day toss-up. Let's go and win that. We could possibly sweep them because Quintana and Freddie are going to give you everything they got, and they've been throwing the ball very well. And that could very well happen. And that's just the way you look at the way Quintana's been pitching. He's doing exactly what Brown did tonight. Pounding the strike zone, getting strikes early, changing speeds, using his breaking ball effectively. And Freddie's just, I think, been the same way. He's the type of guy that he can make adjustments during the game. I thought in Chicago, after the home runs, the first game, the game in Chicago when he gave up the home runs early, boy, he made a great adjustment. And he was lights out after that. He's one of those guys that he's got that ability to do it. So I think the next 2 days are going to be really interesting. I'm excited about tomorrow. I like Quintana going against the Cubs because it's usually good Quintana with the Cubs coming against the Brewers. So I think tomorrow's going to be really interesting.
2018 all over again. Well, Augie, I'll let you off the hook tonight, man. It was 10-0. You brought your fastball tonight. Appreciate you as always, and we'll keep talking this weekend, all right?
Let's turn the page. Let's go out tomorrow. Get Quintana, give him a good game, and we can speak a lot of positives after it. Have a good night.
You got it. Love it. Jerry Augustine here on WTMJ. This one made me laugh. David from Superior, positive from tonight. The calzones and old fashions in the food truck area in left field were great. Negative. Council only got booed once at the beginning of the game. Come on. Are we 0-11 when not scoring first? Yep. The Brewers are now 0-11 when not scoring first. Let's talk about remedying that problem coming up next here on 620 WTMJ.
I came in over 10 years ago and I couldn't breathe ever. And ever since then, now I can breathe.
Breathe well with simple solutions.
For those with a warm weather fashion, try St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores because that's where you'll find a vast array of men's, women's, girls, and boys' warm weather apparel at the friendliest prices. So many choices and at such a value. You can fill the closet without draining your wallet. Shop warm weather fashions at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul.
Get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval to buy at ACCUNET.com.
The I-94 rivalry is more than just bragging rights. Get to the ballpark for Brewers Cubs action May 2nd through the 4th and spend Friday and Saturday night under the lights and help the Crew defend American Family Field and the National League Central Crown.
That's your ball game!
Then pack the park for Sunday matinee baseball at the May 4th series finale. And take advantage of the Sunday Fun Day Bundle. Get your tickets now at Brewers.com.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Brewers fall 10-0. Therapy session continues here on WTMJ. I'm Dom Cotroneo. Summer's coming fast. Are you ready? Get a new air conditioning system from Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical with $0 down, no payments, and 0 interest for 9 months. Plus, save $1,500. Book your appointment today at Cider.com. That's SEIDER.com while the deal lasts. A few texts that have rolled in here, 855-616-1620, 855-616-1620. All kind of in the same vein of humiliated, you got shut up by the White Sox, now by the Cubs, embarrassed, the fibs. You know, am I allowed to say that on the radio? Well, I just did. You can say anything once in the words of Bob Uecker. Anyway, all of this is true. it sucks to lose this way. Being down 10-0, being down 9-0 2 innings into the contest in a series that you were so excited for. But yet, the Tigers series a couple weeks ago, you faced Tarek Skubal, got shut down, he got blown out, and we're all worried about the blowouts and that sort of thing. And then they came back and rallied to win the next 2 games of that series to win the series. Okay. That is still an opportunity here. And if you don't want the glass half full tank, the glass half empty take is the fact that you haven't scored a run in 19 innings. So how do you get that back on track? I talked about this a lot in the Brewers Weekly episode from Thursday, Brewers All Access, wherever you get your podcasts. But the middle of this order is in a weird funk right now in that Yelich is in a slump, Chourio keeps swinging at the first pitch, Frelick's not a traditional 5-hitter, but he's still getting on base. He had a hit today. Rhys Hoskins isn't hitting for power, but he's getting walks, and maybe Rhys is getting pitched around because he's in the 6th spot and not the 5 spot. I truly wonder if the first thing I would do if I'm Pat Murphy, and I'm not, I'm going to make that very clear, I don't like to play armchair manager. I hate it. I think it's tacky. I think it's really, quite frankly, lazy radio. But I'm going to do it anyway because it's 10-0. But my first thing I would do is I just want to see what would happen if I flip Sal and Rhys. Here's why. Rhys, we talk about providing protection, and some managers believe in it, some don't. I believe in it personally, that the batter in front gets a different sequences of pitches depending on who's behind him. I think the easiest way to paint this picture is Juan Soto batting in front of Aaron Judge last season versus batting in front of Pete Alonso. Now, granted, Pete Alonso has been phenomenal this season, and the Mets are trying to figure out what to do with their lineup right now. But the point I'm trying to make is, with respect to Isaac Collins and Joey Ortiz and Caleb Durbin, having those guys behind Rhys Hoskins may or may not be best suited for Rhys in the fact that, yes, they're contact-oriented guys, but some teams may feel they'd rather attack them than Rhys Hoskins. Now, if you put Sal behind Rhys and maybe say, well, you got Rhys and you got Sal, who's got a knack for contact, who's not going to strike out, is going to be a tough out for our defense behind Rhys, maybe that leads to Rhys getting more strikes. I could be completely wrong on that, and I'm fine with that. But that's one of the changes I would make. Turang is clearly under the weather. And I think there was a play in this game today that it was the opposite field base hit from Nico Horner, and I'm never questioning Bryce Turang's effort. But Turang, he had a late break on the ball, and then the blooper down the right field line that he didn't get to. He didn't look like he had the same first step tonight. And that, again, is a qualitative observation from me. You could take it with what you will. If he can get back to a healthy side of things, that offense will get going back in the right direction. And then Yelich in the middle of this order has got to get going sooner as opposed to later. But you'll hear Pat Murphy say it in a moment. There's no reason to overreact to May 2nd. But we're going to overreact to May 2nd because it's the Cubs. And when you pop out of this bubble tomorrow morning when you wake up and you remember, okay, they've got a guy that's 4-0 on the mound tomorrow, Jose Quintana, who's a professional, who's pitched very, very well so far for the Brewers, going up against the Cubs. And this series could be level at this time tomorrow night. Sign me up. Talk a little bit more about what the Cubs are doing so well and why it's working against the Crew coming up next on 620 WTMJ.
Hey, John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care, and they do it every day with compassion and with empathy. They've got locations throughout southeast Wisconsin. I've been to the locations. I love how they treat the people who live there. They specialize in caring for those with early to late-stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms. They offer early memory loss classes. Wisconsin-based and family-owned. Kindness at the core. It's Azura Living. Check them out at azuraliving.com. It's Azura.
Transform the way you do business with Fifth Third Bank's Commercial Payments Solutions. Our market expertise and managed services streamline your entire payment process, seamlessly integrating with your existing systems to give you unparalleled control. Discover new revenue sources, save time, reduce operating costs, and boost your bottom line with our customized payment solutions. Fifth Third Bank, National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
Hi, this is Jeff Levering with the Brewers Radio Network. Ridgetop Exteriors, Wisconsin's trusted name in home improvement, does more than just top-quality roofing. They're your go-to for maintenance-free siding and energy-efficient windows, too. Ridgetop has expert credentials with leading manufacturers like Pella, James Hardie, and LP Smart Siding. For over 20 years, they delivered exceptional craftsmanship and service. Call Ridgetop Exteriors today or visit ridgetopexteriors.com. Ridgetop Exteriors, where customer service always comes first.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
Trust in your family's comfort at home with Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. They're the oldest family-owned HVAC company in southeast Wisconsin. 4 generations of Ciders, and their highly trained technicians provide a one-stop shop for all home and business comfort needs, including an emergency service line that's always live and a 12-year parts and labor warranty on all Daikin products. Get peace of mind by scheduling maintenance today with Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. That's SEIDER, cider.com.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Normally, the play of the game is brought to you by Surfside. Well, when you get shut out, there aren't really any plays of the game. But it's still brought to you by Surfside, a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Surfside iced tea and vodka, Surfside lemonade and vodka paired perfectly with a day at the ballpark. Stocked at American Family Field all season long. Text from Brian from Tosa. A game on May 3rd shouldn't be a must-win game, but if we keep pace with the Cubs, it kind of is. I agree. It's not a must-win. It'd be nice to. It'd be really nice to. At the same time, Brian, in a longer text here talking about how great the Cubs offense is with 49 home runs, Brewers have 27. If you want to compare the home runs, the Brewers were not built on home runs. They probably should have somewhere in the mid-30s right now if you had performances like you had hoped at this point in the season. But, again, it's May 2nd. Still time for that to improve in the right direction. The Cubs are built for homers. That's what they do. Now, I don't think anybody expected PCA to have, 8 home runs? That probably wasn't on the bingo card for them to already have 8 home runs in the first month plus of the season. But the Brewers are a team built on stolen bases and that sort of thing, and they haven't been able to steal bases because they've been falling behind so much. One thing that I saw from the Cubs tonight, though, that once you got outside of that second inning, and you can really take everything with a grain of salt once you got beyond the second inning when it's 9-0, not a lot of motivation to keep things going for both sides, just stay healthy kind of thing, right? The thing that I see from the Cubs is they're a pretty aggressive ball club. And I imagine, I saw a shot from Apple TV tonight of Freddie, Quintana, and Nestor Corredor, assistant coach of the Brewers, all standing together on the end of the dugout talking. And, that's your next 2 starting pitchers and one of the game planners for the Brewers and one of the guys that's helping in that room. I have to imagine Quintana's going to take this aggression and use it against the Cubs tomorrow. And granted, they know him very well. But that's something I'm looking forward to most tomorrow. Can you use that aggression that the Cubs have against them? Granted, when you're facing guys like Tyler Alexander or Quinn Priester who are really all deception in a strike-to-ball chase scenario, right? They don't necessarily possess pitches that look like a ball that become a strike. Quintana has both. He has a ball that looks like a strike, and then he has a strike that looks like a ball. As in, he can throw his sinker that looks like it's going to be a ball. Surprise, it's a strike to a righty, right? That front hip sinker to a righty. Or he can throw his slurve that looks like a ball, then surprise, it falls out of the moon and is in there for a strike. I wonder if he's going to be able to keep them on their toes and keep them off balance and try to figure out a way to use that aggression against the Cubs tomorrow. Because the season does not balance on tomorrow's game, but you can get a real better indicator of what this team is made of tomorrow. We'll have a better indication at the end of this series what the team is made of. We've been saying that all along. This is the make or break stretch. What are you made of? Can you prove it? And a reminder, the Brewers were still a 500 team in 2021 when they acquired Willy Adames. There can still be a Hail Mary converted by making a signing or something like that. We're going to hear from the manager coming up next. Pat Murphy, he was pretty honest about today's loss as the Brewers fall 10-0 to the Cubs here on 620 WTMJ.
Your nose is for breathing. Your mouth is for eating. And if you're breathing through your mouth, it's not because your body wants to. It's because it has to, because your nose isn't working properly. And although you've lived like this, it's no way to live, and it's having a significant impact on your life. I know you know this, and I know that taking action isn't always convenient. But at Advent, we've done all we can to make changing your life for the better as easy as possible. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. With tens of thousands of our patients, a thorough breathing triangle evaluation, along with a simple 20-minute in-office procedure called balloon sinuplasty, has opened their nasal passages, allowing them to breathe freely through their nose for good. And there's a good chance this procedure can do the same for you. We'll help you breathe through your nose again, and it will change your life.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Flimsy, feeble, flaccid. That's how you can describe most pre-approval letters these days, because most banks still issue pre-approval letters without actually verifying your income, employment, or down payment. That's the exact opposite of an AccuNet rock-solid, fully verified and guaranteed pre-approval, where we put a $2,000 guarantee behind the fact the seller can actually rely on the terms of your pre-approval and offer. With AccuNet, there's also a possibility of issuing a property-specific pre-approval with as little as a 10% down payment that includes the magic words, "no appraisal required." That's right, AccuNet may be able to issue your pre-approval without needing an appraisal. That's the kind of certainty that can help a seller say yes to your offer. Sure, you can try competing with a flimsy bank pre-approval, or you can click on the blue button at AccuNet.com and get started with the pre-approval listing agents and sellers recognized as the best in the business. That's ACCUNET.com.
The I-94 rivalry is more than just bragging rights. Get to the ballpark for Brewers Cubs action May 2nd through the 4th and spend Friday and Saturday night under the lights and help the Crew defend American Family Field and the National League Central crown.
That's your ball game!
Then pack the park for Sunday matinee baseball at the May 4th series finale and take advantage of the Sunday Fun Day bundle. Get your tickets now at Brewers.com.
For WTMJ contest rules, visit WTMJ.com/contests. This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
I've been talking a lot. Try to be positive. Try not to freak out. It's May 2nd. How about Pat Murphy? How does he feel about today's loss? Here's the manager's comments after a 10-0 drubbing from the Cubs.
Murph, just what's kind of the mood for you guys in the room after a couple straight losses like that?
It's not good. Nobody's given up hope in May 3rd, but yeah, no, I mean we've had this happen to us before, right? When you have that many starting pitchers down, what would other teams do? Your experience in baseball, which you're experienced, I'm sure, when you have Savali, Cortez, Woodruff, Ashby, DL Hall, you have all those guys down, you're going to run into some games that happen to be tonight where you've got to kind of pitch guys that aren't quite ready for that situation. But I'll tell you, you can say Priester was awful, and if you want to, but there's some signs that you can see why we signed him. There's some signs there that show the kid's got really good stuff, and he's a great competitor, because to come back after that inning that he had, and, go back on the TV and look at some of the calls. They're very close. And then there's some bad walks. But there were some close calls, and there were some balls just out of reach, and the ball off Anderson in the first inning, the blooper into right. It happens. It's part of baseball. But it kind of changed the game, changed that inning. So, or not Anderson, but Alexander. But, yeah, I mean, we've run into this how many times this year? Is this 5, 6? 5 or 6 blowouts. And it's when starters don't go very far, or starters have one of those innings. So that's and it deflates your team. When you're down 9-0, you're a different offensive team. And for us, we can't get behind. That's not our team.
Murph, is it the command with him, or is it something else you're seeing?
Well, I mean, he hasn't been in these situations. He doesn't have a refined delivery yet. And the moment, the bigness of the moment and everything else, he hasn't done that before. So it's like a rookie out there. You know what I mean? He pitched a little bit in the big leagues for the Pirates. He was a AAA pitcher earlier this year. New situation. I think the kid's going to be really good. I really do.
Murph, was there a
what was the injury situation with Terang, and was he taken out because of that later, or was it because
he's been, if you've been with us, he's been really sick. Okay, he's been sick to the point we didn't play him the other day and sent him home. He wasn't even there. And then he played, he felt better and he played. But after that long run for that ball that fell in, that second blooper fell in, then he couldn't catch his breath. So that's when we went out to check on him because he was coughing and he couldn't catch his breath. We were worried about him. We gave him a little time to calm down. He's on some medication and he just feels like sometimes when he runs, he can't catch his breath. So we figured to get him out if we can. You know, he says he can play, but we thought we'd get some of those guys out of there. Yeah. He said he was feeling way better today than he had the last 2 days, so. Yeah. Tobias Myers threw the ball good. Anderson threw the ball good. Bowers continues to be an effective reliever.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
You had, you'd said before the game, using the opener before bringing Priester out, part to kind of protect him and not have those at the top of the order.
Yeah, Heidi, the woman on Apple TV said that it backfired. I'm like, that wasn't the backfire. The backfire is when 2-0 isn't a backfire. It happens, especially when one's a blooper that falls in and one's just out of the reach of the second baseman. Might not have been in the right position with 2 strikes. But anyways, you know what I mean? Like, didn't backfire. It was our best option going in.
Right, and I think that was part of my question was going to be, like, just the way things played out. Does that influence how you might think about it the next time around, or is it you still look at it as like
next time around for
right. If this situation ever comes back up?
We've used openers for how many years here?
Well, no, I mean for Priester specifically.
No, it wasn't just about Priester. It's about left-hander versus turning Happ around right-handed, which he's a better left-handed hitter. He's a good right-handed hitter, but he's a better left-handed hitter. Having left on left against Tucker, and he's a good hitter of left-handers, so is Bush, to try to get those 3 guys so Priester doesn't have to, or any starter. We did it with Colin Ray last year, and he won 12 games for us. You know, sometimes it works where it's the guy doesn't have to go 3 times around to that portion of the order. That's why you do it.
It makes sense in theory. Tonight, the execution was what came up short. Let's get ready to wrap up the program here by looking ahead at tomorrow in the pitching matchup and get you ready for Game 2 of a 3-game set. Back with more after this on WTMJ.
What's on Tap with Sandy Max?
The Milwaukee Film Festival. 15 days of movies from all over the world and right here in Milwaukee.
Keeping you updated on culture and creativity.
If you remember Top Chef Season 21, I won Fan Favorite.
Weeknights at 6 on WTMJ.
Coming up with the recipe for beer is like knowing what you're putting into it. Playing music, the recipe for a song is just like release.
What's on Tap with Sandy Max. Weeknights at 6 on WTMJ.
Is your business ready to take the next step? At Fifth Third Commercial Bank Wisconsin, our team of local experienced advisors is here to propel you forward. We understand your needs and offer in-depth expertise, cutting-edge technology, and tailored solutions to streamline your cash collections, automate payments, and safeguard your assets with top-notch fraud mitigation tools. Contact Fifth Third in downtown Milwaukee today. Let's eliminate the non-value add work so you can focus on what truly matters. Growing your business. Fifth Third Bank National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
So he said to me, boy, oh boy, do you got the boulders. And I said, you betcha. And he said, do you mind if I cherry pick? And I said, feel free. They're all beautiful and they're all granite. Sparkling pinks, blues, and grays from 4 to 36 inches. And they're all priced right. Because we buy direct from the source nationwide to give you the look you want. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. Well, if you need flagstone for your new natural patio, Erickson's is the place to find it. We have the largest selection and 15 styles to choose from. And for decorative stone, Erickson's is your best choice. Our decorative stone is trucked in from all over the country. We buy straight from the quarry and cut out the middleman to keep your prices nice and low. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Tomorrow, we're on the air at 5 o'clock for a 6:10 first pitch. I've got you covered for Brewers warm-up. Then we'll be reacting to it after the contest as well. Jose Quintana against Jameson Taillon. That is your matchup tomorrow. 1:10 on Sunday. We're on the air at noon. Shota Imanaga against Freddie Peralta. Tonight, and the last 48 hours for that matter, have not been fun. The season has not been off to a great start. And yet, today was game number 33. So you're officially 20% of the way into the year, right? 32 or so is when you put that cutoff at. So this first fifth of the season, you finish one game under 500. What we're going to do at game 66, let me check when that exactly is, and I'll put a reminder in my phone. Game 66, we're going to look at that piece of the pie. So when the Brewers are done on the Sunday against the San Diego Padres in their longest homestand of the year, that's the first of their 10-game homestand with the Padres, the Braves, and the Cardinals. Let's look at that piece of the pie, okay? Figure out what it's going to be for the Brewers' next 33 games. Good, bad, ugly. Are they going to be better than 16 and 17? Are they going to be better than, a 500? All that to be seen. You can still win the series over these next two games, and we will react appropriately. If they lose the series, we will also react appropriately. The Brewers will see the Cubs again before you know it as well. The Brewers will go to Chicago in a month, exactly a little over a month's time, June 17th to 19th. So much season to be had. The Brewers' run differential continues to be drunk, so they lose 10 more in the run differential. It is now a +6 so far in the year, despite being one game under 500. Elsewhere, quickly, the Reds win again. Hunter Green, he's got a Cy Young case starting to build right now in the first month plus of the season. The Reds win at home despite a rain delay in that one. 12 Ks, 6-1 win over the Nats. Also in the division, the Cardinals, they were defeated at home today. That was to the Mets by a 9-3 final score. And then also the Pirates, they were at home for the Padres. San Diego wins that one by a 9-4 score. Tomorrow, the sun will come up. We'll react to some baseball. We'll come to the ballpark. I'll talk to some guys in the clubhouse. Maybe we'll get an interview and play it here on the air for our Brewers warm-up show. But then we're going to play a baseball game. And we're going to react to it. And this is part of being a fan, right? There's another one tomorrow. And then you go from, oh my gosh, it's all over, this is awful, tonight, to tomorrow, you turn the tables and say you win a game 10-0. Ha-ha! See? I never had a doubt in these guys. I believe in them. It's baseball, man. I love sports. I love all of this. Appreciate the honesty on the text line. Appreciate the honesty in the Twitter mentions. You're not going to bring me down with positivity. You're just not. I'm a relentless optimist. I'm a caddy, man. I've seen enough bad golf to know that guy's never going to break 100. I'm still going to act like he could break 80. It's going to be okay. Let's have some fun tomorrow, shall we? My thanks to our producer, Matt Yazel. I am Tom Cotroneo. Talk to you tomorrow at 5. Until then, keep on swinging.
Baseball is back. Prime